From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
A new U.S. Supreme Court justice has been named. How Arizona lawmakers feel about the appointment of Neil Gorsuch.
And a state program that helps people with disabilities find careers is under scrutiny. What an audit says this program is doing wrong.
Plus, Senate committees approved more of Trump's cabinet today, despite Democrat attempts at a filibuster.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Veronica Acosta.
And I'm Anthony Mitchell. Thank you for joining us. It's been a busy day in Washington as Senate has approved multiple nominees for President Donald Trump's cabinet, including confirmation of Tom Price to Health and Human Services and Steve Mnuchin to be Treasury Secretary. The nominations of congressmen now go before the full Senate. The approval comes after 2 days of boycotts from the Democrats who criticized Mnuchin for how he handled thousands of mortgage foreclosures and claimed that this nomination would not work to keep Wall Street greed in check.
After weeks of hearings, the Senate Judiciary Committee has also approved the nomination of Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama to be Attorney General. Sessions' approval comes days after President Trump fired Sally Yates, who was acting Attorney General from the Obama administration, after she came out against Trump's travel ban. The full Republican-controlled Senate is expected to approve Sessions next week. Last night, President Donald Trump nominated Justice Neil Gorsuch as a Supreme Court pick, a judge who is well-liked by Republicans and has approval from Arizona leaders. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Finger went to the High Court in Washington to collect reaction from the nomination.
Good evening. Less than 24 hours ago, President Donald Trump revealed his pick for who he thinks should replace Justice Antonin Scalia here at the U.S. Supreme Court, and the Arizona congressional delegation responded quickly.
Today, I am keeping another promise to the American people by nominating Judge Neil Gorsuch.
With those words, President Donald Trump sent off a firestorm in Washington. Arizona Congressman Ruben Gallego had harsh words today.
Well, I'm advocating for the Senate to filibuster, I think for many reasons, but most importantly just because Trump, number one, is not a normal president.
Representative Gallego isn't concerned with Judge Neil Gorsuch's resume. He says his concern is the man in the Oval Office.
This is not an issue of qualifications, it's an issue of Donald Trump. About what an unqualified president he is and how he's already acting in a very authoritarian manner that I think is very dangerous for democracy.
Gallego's comments are a far cry from Republicans on the Hill. Representative Andy Biggs said today he's looking forward to Judge Gorsuch taking his seat at the bench.
I'm hopeful that in the end you'll see 60 votes in the Senate to confirm Mr. Judge Gorsuch.
If Judge Gorsuch is confirmed, experts don't expect a swing in the court's rulings because of his similarities to Justice Antonin Scalia.
Practically, there will be very little difference in the kind of law we get out of the Supreme Court from this justice.
Senator Jeff Flake told us yesterday that he's looking forward to the chance to vote to confirm President Trump's nominee.
We're excited to maintain the balance on the court by confirming a principled conservative.
Neil Gorsuch made his rounds on Capitol Hill today, but as of now, no hearings have been set. For now, at the U.S. Supreme Court, Tyler Finger, Cronkite News.
Phoenix lawyer Paul Eckstein teaches congressional law at the Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law. He says that Neil Gorsuch's conservative record mirrors that of the late Justice Scalia.
This is a conservative replacing a conservative. One of the reasons the Republicans last year were so united in their opposition about not giving Merrick Garland a hearing was, had he been confirmed, it would have been a, quote, liberal replacing a conservative, which would have changed the balance of the court.
Senator Jeff Flake also spoke out about Secretary of State nominee Rex Tillerson today, saying he was impressed by the answers Tillerson gave in the hearings and encouraged by his views on foreign policy. The Senate approved Rex Tillerson earlier today, ending a Democrat filibuster and moving him to the next steps of a full Senate confirmation.
The Trump administration announced they are putting Iran on notice after they expedited a ballistic missile test in the Red Sea. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn condemned the actions and issued a threat.
Iran continues to threaten U.S. friends and allies in the region. The Obama administration failed to respond adequately to Tehran's malign actions. The Trump administration condemns such actions by Iran that undermine security, prosperity, and stability throughout and beyond the Middle East, and which places American lives at risk. As of today, we are officially putting Iran on notice.
Trump decided to attend a funeral of a Navy SEAL that died in Yemen during a raid on al-Qaeda. The raid took place on Sunday under Trump's orders. Members of al-Qaeda were killed in the raid. However, there are reports of civilian casualties. No numbers have been confirmed. 2 F-16s engaged in a training exercise shot and killed one person and injured another last night. The man killed was a civilian contractor for Holloman Air Force Base. The injured person was an Air Force service member. They were part of a ground control team for the base in New Mexico. The fighter jets belong to a group located at Arizona Luke Air Force Base. The F-16s were aiming for the White Sands missile range, and members of the ground control party were caught in the crossfire. The person injured was treated and released from the hospital. Officials are still investigating, and no identities have been released.
Last year, the state of Arizona sent incorrect refund information to nearly 580,000 taxpayers. The mistake could cause people to file inaccurate tax returns this year. The 1099-G forms for 2016 are supposed to show funds from their 2015 tax return. Instead, the Department of Revenue sent out forms that showed refunds after filing their 2014 tax returns. Taxpayers use these forms to file their federal and state taxes. Having incorrect information on these forms could cause them to be flagged by the IRS.
A state program that helps people with disabilities establish new careers is under scrutiny. A new report says the Vocational Rehabilitation Services Program could be running a whole lot more efficiently. Judson Tomeko is in the broadcast center with details on this state audit.
Right now, there are about 2,800 Arizonans on the program wait list. The report by the Arizona Auditor General's office says that number could be slashed by more than 2/3 if the program had better financial oversight. The staff at Common Grounds is preparing for its grand opening. It's a new coffee shop in the state capital and a new start for Darren Warlow, who is legally blind.
I was an electrician for 14 years, a journeyman electrician. I was exposed to some chemical that within 10 days after being exposed to that, I lost my eyesight.
19 years ago, after losing his vision, Darren's doctor recommended him to the Vocational Rehabilitation Services Program. The Arizona Auditor General's office says the Vocational Rehabilitation Program spends almost 2.5 times as much money per client than the same program in other states, spending approximately $16,200 per person versus the national average of only $6,300. On top of that, Arizona's successful rehabilitation rate is only 51%, while the national average is about 57%. Dot Reinhardt helped work on the report that made suggestions on how the program can improve.
We recommended that they develop ways for monitoring progress in terms of cost and how long clients are in the program to help ensure that they have better oversight over those costs.
While the Department of Economic Security agrees to the suggested changes, the department doesn't feel the report fully represents the program.
Over the last year, we did help, nearly 1,500 people obtain employment. And so that's 1,500 people that may not have obtained employment without our services and supports. And so while we have a lot of, we do have work to do and we recognize that, we're still doing really good work out in the field.
The Department of Economic Security did note that the metrics used to measure the successful rehabilitation rate included factors such as people who moved out of state or even died while still enrolled in the program, and a federal law just changed those metrics. The department has 6 months to make their own changes before the Auditor General's office performs a follow-up audit. In the broadcast center, Judson Tomeko, Cronkite News.
School counselors play large roles in students' higher education.
But only if there are enough counselors there to support. Coming up on Cronkite News, why Arizona has the highest ratio in the nation.
And what's new Blast technology device has been introduced to help those with ADHD and anxiety.
I'm Scott Pelley, anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News. In our changing media landscape, it is crucial for journalism education to ensure a commitment to the truth, unbiased reporting, strong ethics, unwavering fairness, and above all else, accuracy. These are the hallmarks of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. It's a place where students can innovate and transform the news industry while always upholding the values of the school's namesake. The Cronkite School at ASU, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Discover so much more at azpbs.org/schedule, where it's easier than ever to find out what's on Arizona PBS. Access interactive digital and printable program guides, repeat times, and full episode descriptions. Watch program previews of best bets for the coming week. Search by title to find your favorite shows. You can even add programs to your calendar and get email reminders when they're about to start. It's easier than ever to find out what's on Arizona PBS. Discover so much more at azpbs.org/schedule. When you want to be more connected, friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, watch us online.
Arizona teachers struggle with too many students in their classroom, but so do school counselors. Instead of focusing on getting students to graduate, now their job revolves around these domains: social, emotional, college and career, and academic. Reporter Kaylee Nassif visited Flagstaff to see how one nationally recognized counselor manages a high number of students.
Catherine Pastor is a school counselor at Flagstaff High School. Last year, she was named the National School Counselor of the Year. She says the hardest part of her job, knowing there's only so much she can do.
So you see these kids struggling and you wish that there was more that you could do for them, but you know that sometimes they have to go on that journey and hopefully, make it out on the other side okay.
When student Kaylee Rahili was a freshman, she had a hard time adjusting to changing schools. Pastor helped her find her place.
I just went through a whole bunch of issues, and going and talking to her was just like, she boosted my confidence, got me involved in a bunch of clubs on school.
Pastor oversees 480 of Flagstaff High School's 1,600 students. In order to serve all her students, she often does large group teaching or small group counseling sessions.
It would be physically impossible for me to see that number of students individually throughout the school year.
The American School Counselor Association recommends 250 students to every one counselor. Arizona has the highest ratio in the nation, with 941 students to every one counselor.
I wish that counselors across the country could have a caseload that would be like that, because then we could really provide the in-depth services that our students need.
She believes one reason Arizona's ratio is so high is because, similar to teachers, the rate of pay is behind that of other states.
Through the community support, we are able to offer counseling throughout all of our grade levels.
Counseling often gets forgotten in discussions about education, but Pastor stresses its importance.
Counseling profession is a very essential piece to what we're doing in education, and our profession matters. We make difference every day when we come to work.
From her students' response, it's clear Pastor's difference is a big one. In Flagstaff, Kaylee Nassif, Cronkite News.
Pastor visited the White House earlier this year for a panel put on by Michelle Obama's Reach Higher initiative.
New technology is helping people who may suffer from anxiety and ADHD. Alexa Arms talks to the creator of Buzzies to find out more about the science behind what makes them work.
Most of the time, I'm just kind of worried about everyday, homework, what's going to happen tomorrow.
Anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the United States, affecting nearly 18% of the population.
When people are self-regulating, when people aren't stressed out, they perform better, they make better decisions, they sleep better, their overall health is better.
For decades, people have turned to bilateral stimulation as a way to deal with difficult situations. The therapy helps distract the brain so that information can be processed in a new, less distressing way. Normally, sessions are performed in a doctor's office, but Dr. Amy Sarin has found a way to make these treatments mobile.
What I did that was new was improve some of the technology, the waveform, and the delivery method to give access to people outside of doctors' offices.
Sarin says that bilateral stimulation can help with PTSD, OCD, anxiety, sleeping disorders, and even keep you focused in the classroom. Buzzies interferes with the way the body responds to stress by sending signals to the brain.
It just gives you that calming sensation that you just can't find a lot of times.
Since discovering Buzzies in December, Jennifer Childress and her 2 daughters have noticed a difference.
The therapies help, but there's always the day-to-day crisis moments where you need that help.
Buzzies can be worn on the wrists or in your pocket and are activated by an app on your phone. More than 2,000 sets have already been shipped out in the last month. In Peoria, Alexa Arms, Cronkite News.
As of now, Buzzies are only available online. You can visit their website at www.buzzies.com.
Cameras, police, and pop-up jails.
These are just a few of the latest security measures being taken at the Waste Management Open. Security is being increased to control the massive crowds that attend the Open. Why these extra precautions are now in place.
It's another sunny day here in the Valley, perfect for going outside, and lucky for us, that weather is here to stay. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Heaving one deep, and it is caught. Jalen Strong, do you
I was at the post office mailing something. I asked the clerk, how do they let you know if your son is wounded? It was very hard for me to form those words, but I just felt, I've got to know. I just felt so suspended in space and anxiety. And the man said, now, don't worry. They'll tell you.
The city of Scottsdale has a population of about 200,000. That number will more than double on Saturday as fans flood TPC Scottsdale for the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Pally found out what safety precautions are now being taken by authorities at this year's event.
For many, the Waste Management Phoenix Open is more than a golf tournament. It's a party. But tournament chairman Andy Markham said it's important for fans to remember why they're actually there.
We want to just remind people that we should respect the fans, respect the players, and respect the game, and just take golf to where it originally started and come out and have a good time and enjoy, but let's be safe.
Scottsdale Police Sergeant Ben Hoster says the ever-increasing popularity of the greenest show on grass, coupled with the tournament's proximity to a large collegiate population, underage drinking is one of the event's biggest challenges for authorities.
It's an issue that we do see here and we pay attention to.
Hoster said there will be cameras all around TPC Scottsdale, monitored by law enforcement, as well as jails set up around the course, including one near the famous 16th hole.
If someone gets arrested out by 16, we have a temporary jail tent that's set up out there, and then our jail staff will come out on carts and they'll cart them back to our jail center, which is up on the Hayden Bridge.
While declining to give specific numbers, Hoster said hundreds of people were arrested last year. Scottsdale Police and Fire Departments are leading the joint effort to combat overconsumption of alcohol and underage drinking. Hoster said he expects the event to break last year's record of more than 618,000 fans, but he has a message to all those who come out this year.
With over almost 200,000 people on Saturdays, we can't catch everybody. So we do our best, and those folks that are unfortunate enough to deal with the police that are underage have to deal with the consequences.
Federal agencies, including the FBI and ATF, will also be at the event as precautionary measures, as well as hazmat units from around the valley. In Scottsdale, Tyler Paley, Cronkite News.
It'll be a great week on the greens when it comes to weather.
Lauren Herberger is tracking the forecast in the Cronkite Weather Center.
It's a gorgeous day out there, sunny and clear skies in the valley. Temperatures across the state are a little bit higher than we've normally seen the past couple of weeks. It's currently 48 in Grand Canyon, 51 in Show Low, and 77 in Yuma. Now across the valley, we're seeing temperatures in the low to mid 70s. If you were out in Scottsdale for the first day of the Phoenix Open, it's 72 out there right now, 75 in Goodyear, and 73 in Maricopa. While we are in the 70s during the day, we're still seeing cool early morning temperatures. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna expect temperatures in the low 40s, 43 in Buckeye and Goodyear, and then 48 in Apache Junction in Phoenix. What this means is when you're getting your kids ready for the bus stop, getting them ready for school, you're getting ready for work, layers are gonna be key. You wanna bundle up because it's gonna be 48 degrees outside, but then 73 when you come home. Tomorrow and Friday, we're gonna see temperatures 75, 76, cloudy skies, but those temperatures and weather is gonna creep up into the 80s, and it's gonna get clearer as we go into the weekend. Super Bowl Sunday, we're gonna see gorgeous weather, perfect for cooking out, 79, and then that's gonna continue next week. Good news is those early morning temperatures are gonna creep up into 50s, almost 58 on Wednesday morning. Great start for our week. Cronkite weather, Lauren Hornberger.
Arizona State University has a close connection to the Olympics. Now, the university plans to create an Olympic village in Tempe. The village will be an area for student athletes to train and possibly live. It will be located near the Karsten Golf Course, where ASU has 330 acres available. The university will also be adding additional sports and increasing scholarships and academic support. Coming up, it's a bird, it's a plane.
Actually, it's an unmanned aircraft system. The Cronkite News team takes a closer look at how drones stole the show at this year's Aviation Day on the Capitol.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life. This is what counts. This is for us. I will go anywhere for you.
Combat is like crack cocaine. It's an enormous high, but it has enormous costs. And I think that we make a big mistake if we say, oh, well, war is hell. We all know the war is hell story. It is, but there's an enormously exhilarating part of it.
Aviation Day is held at the Capitol building every year to promote and celebrate the aviation industry in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Alexis Dukrath shows us one aircraft that stole the show.
For one day out of the year, aviation takes center stage on the Capitol lawn. From hot air balloon baskets to the Sheriff Rescue helicopter, there is something for everybody. This year, one booth in particular attracted a lot of traffic.
Today, we're just doing an exhibit showcasing all of the different SUAS types of equipment and opportunities. It's a booming industry, and we wanted to show the public a little bit more about it.
SUAS stands for Small Unmanned Aerial Systems, or what's more commonly known as a drone.
Have your little white drone. People are very familiar with those. It's the one that Dad gets for Christmas. A lot of guys go out and do great films and and photos with those.
I loved going to take desert shots, sunset shots, and then flying around over cactus.
But drones can be used for so much more.
We're working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, providing agriculture science studies. We're working with civil engineers to improve infrastructure. We're actually working in other countries like Costa Rica doing ecological studies and preservation down there.
Getting kids excited about the aviation industry is a big plus.
I think the biggest reason for us coming here today is just to continue to excite the public about SUAS and more or less showcase all the capabilities, and there's a lot of kids running around here too. They're our future.
I mean, it's awesome. It's aviation. It's pretty much everything we live for.
Not only does this event show off cool technology, it brings aviation fanatics together. In Phoenix, Alexis Ducraft, Cronkite News.
Last year, Governor Doug Ducey, under legislation, barred cities and towns from making their own rules when it comes to regulating drone usage. Drone owners must now register under the FAA.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll have analysis of President Trump's selection for the U.S. Supreme Court, and we'll hear how e-commerce on Indian reservations comes with some unique legal entanglements.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, I sit down with Vice President Mike Pence for his first television interview since taking office. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.